would you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal, brought to you by Legit Podcast.com. It is June 18th, 2023. 0618-2023 for the Math Geeks. Let's play. Let's go with let's do shiznizzle. 8 times 1 is 8, minus 6 is 2, and then oh my goddamn, 3 plus 2 is 5. Oh, I don't, you know what, I give up. For the Math Geeks, I give up on this one. I apologize. I'll make it up next week. Joining me as always is Buddy Money Bear. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, Mike. Bear with me as I shift my shit around here. All right, there we go. It's a lovely evening. A big happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Mike, I know you're a celebrated father. Happy, big cheers. I'm going to salute you with this very green. It's by one of my favorite brewers. I went like our guest tonight. We're going to be looking up north. We're looking above us. Above us in Rhode Island is Massachusetts, and in Massachusetts they have a few breweries out there now. Ooh, holy shit! One of them. Shit. Hold on. Treehouse.
Potty foul.
Treehouse.
Time out on you.
Yeah, that's just they do this is very green. So I'd rather pour it out. I don't have anything.
Hey, buddy, do you have anything else to say about the beer? The fact that
it's an 8.2. It's delicious. It's Citra. It's a lovely brewery, and I got this one in Charlton, Massachusetts.
So all right. Well, I'm gonna cut you quick because once again I'm drinking some Victory, the Golden Monkey, 9.5%.
Very green. This is one of their flagships. It's one of their class.
Joining us, Sin Schrader.
Oh,
Hill.
God.
What's up, Sin?
Hey, got a little ginger ale for me.
Oh, there you go. What type of ginger ale? Schweppes? Are you talking Schweppes?
Dry. Canada Dry.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Canadian dry, but not on fire, but dry.
Canada Dry. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's good when you're sick. That and graham crackers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So, let me ask you guys something. Before our guest comes on, have any of you been keeping up with the UFO stuff like I have? Like, I don't know. You guys probably have lives.
Mike, I really have, because a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show, Patrick Donovan, curator at the Barnum Memorial Armory, is also involved with this UAP stuff, and he's a tremendous grant writer, so he gets involved with some of these projects that are going on that we're not supposed to talk about in and around the U.S. government. And it's a very active thing, people looking for UFOs and UAFs. It's not like this big government conspiracy as much as we like to believe. It's actually a lot more talked about in larger circles than it is as a conspiracy theory, from what I understand. So I don't know.
Can I tell you something? Even though I'm much older than you, buddy,
yeah,
I feel like you're late to the game on this whole not being so skeptical stuff. What you used to call conspiracy theories. Like when I first met you, things were really hard conspiracy theories with you, and that was it. No budging. Mm-hmm. And now I noticed that you've been paying more attention. It happens when you get older, I think, and you get more like miserable. I don't know how else to explain it. You start to pay attention more. You know what I mean?
I listen to people like Jean Broida every week on Legit Paranormal News, Mike, and she has some really fascinating things to say about UFOs and UAPs, and holy shit, she blows my mind week to week. And then there's a bevy of other people out there that are also into UFOs and really have some other really smart things to say. And you can only shut it down for so long. I feel like it's just inevitable that we say, "Hey, this is like got to be a thing. This can't be like bullshit or anything."
It's like everywhere. It's everything is happening. It's like, are they trying to get our mind off of something else they don't want us to see? Is that why all this stuff is happening? Is that why all these UFO sightings are happening? What's going on?
All right, I'll tell you. I could tell you. I don't want to ruin this whole show and just telling you guys what's going on right up front. Like, I know that, the shows usually make you wait for the middle or towards the end, 45 minutes in, they tell you what's going on. We're trying to arrest 2 different presidents, right? We're involved in so many different odd things that are happening scandal-wise. we're separated on so many issues all across the country, right? It's bizarro world. Now they're hitting with aliens coming to people's houses, is different types of aliens. Like the FBI whistleblower, if you watch the interview with that British guy, he's like, so are you you're telling me that you are the first and he goes, yes, I'm telling you that like even the way he spoke was like, I know they're FBI guys, so they get that kind of geeky type of talk, but like he didn't seem relaxed at all. He seemed very polished in his comments. And then here's the other problem I had with what he said. I hate when they say, I have it from very reliable sources. I hate that. And they all say it, no offense. But the only reliable source is yourself when it comes to stuff like that. Like that's the only thing, that's the only way you're going to get information across. You can't come to someone else and go, I know someone that told me something. And because everyone else is going to go, all right, dude, yeah, I know. But when someone else says, no, it happened to me, here's what I have for proof, or here's what happened, like that's bigger. Like what's going on in is it Brazil? Is it Brazil where they way back in like the 90s or 80s they had that ship land where all the kids are still alive and they talk about it like that day happened, they all repeat the same thing. They're doing like a documentary on it now. I think it's in Portugal. Is it in Portugal?
I don't know. I need to look it up.
Yeah, it's all right. So hopefully we'll get the guest on soon, but it was like this big landing that was like a really big deal where like school children came out and adults came out and all these people that were interviewed had the exact same recollection of what it looked like, what the aliens looked like, what happened, all that stuff, right? Now, this one guy that's been really big into aliens, he's always on every TV show. He's got the white beard, right? Kind of looks like me, but he's a better looking guy with like white hair. And it's him. He works with George from the Art Bell show, The Lineage. George, help me out. George Norrie. So George Norrie lives in Arizona, and he does like the local news. He talks about aliens all the time because he's from the Art Bell lineage of radio hosts for that whole Coast to Coast, which is a great plug for me to say right now that in that lineage is Tim Weisberg, who will be with us this upcoming weekend at Block Island for the Block Island Ghost Tours Paranormal Party event this weekend. And buddy, I know when you can be there, you will be there, but you are excited about that weekend, those weekends.
I'm very excited about those weekends, Mike. Absolutely. It's a chance for the paranormal and for partygoers to come together kind of as one and enjoy a whole lot of good summertime fun and ghostly events out on Block Island. The truly the last untapped paranormal spot, well, if you will, left worldwide, I think.
And you know what? They don't get
even the Conjuring House. Now, this is their latest thing. They're going to have people come and sleep in tents in the backyard because the backyard is also haunted. So now we're going to try and sell people on. I mean, get people to come out and experience the backyard. There is always a location that is milked completely dry, and Block Island is like a flowing river of paranormal activity, and nobody even knows about it. So that's
Can I ask you something, man? Can I ask you something, buddy?
Sure thing, Mike.
Why don't you just shut up about it? Why do you tell everybody that it's like we're standing in San Francisco and you're telling everybody there's gold in them there hills? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Let them stay where they are. Yeah, let them stay where they are. You know what I mean? You stay on your side of the fence.
It's a rough ferry ride. The people over there are gruff. They have nothing mainstream. They hate everything mainstream. Rick Lysick is a jerk. His bar is awesome, but he's a total jerk. No, I love Rick. It's a lovely island, but oh my God, if you're not from Block Island, they're not gonna like you. So if you like the paranormal, stay away from Block Island.
Don't come out and have a great time with us.
Have a good time. Go out for the legit paranormal weekend and have a great time with some great people when he's not being a jerk.
You don't want to be scared and have a great time at the same time for a weekend with beaches.
Right.
No one would want that. I mean,
there's magicians involved, though. There's magicians.
Yeah, magicians. There's
the Magic Man.
Tarot card readers. There's mediums. There's a spa. There's all kinds of stuff that's on Block Island. Block Island is, and the funny thing is, it's literally so when you get off the Block Island ferry, right? So you get on the. Here's what you do. Here's what I've learned. I've gone twice now. Once with Buddy, once without. Here's exactly what I do though. He might know this. I get on, and I keep to myself at first because I know that I'm not awake and I don't know what's going on. wait till the bar opens when the ferry hits open waters, and I go get a Bloody Mary. I make sure she throws as much Tabasco sauce as she can, orange, and then I pound it. I try to drink it as fast as I can, like just pound that some bitch down, and then I feel better. And then right after I get off the ferry, you start to walk up this little hill, and literally the building right across the street from where you land is Block Island Ghost Tours.
Right.
And I asked Rick to send me a picture of him just throwing a baseball from maybe the top of the ramp to his building. And he said he couldn't do it because the people would be upset if he threw a baseball and all this other bullshit excuses. When we all know that maybe he tried, he didn't reach.
You just can't throw a baseball. That's why, Mike. I think that's what.
But he was a basketball player. He was a basketball player, so he was an athlete. So you trying to tell me he can't throw a baseball? I bet you Rick can hold a baseball.
And this, I don't know, Mike. I think it's two different things. I don't think Rick can translate basketball hoop shooting into baseball throwing line drive.
I'm gonna bring a tennis ball like the Poltergeist. Sin, you know the one when they threw it up and they wrote something on it. I forget what they wrote on it. I'll figure that out. I'll write it on it too. But you know, she throws it up and it comes back. All that tricks. Yeah. I'm gonna write something on a tennis ball, and with that tennis ball from the bottom of the ramp, I'm gonna throw, and on the hop, I will definitely hit their building. I might do that immediately when I walk off the ferry, buddy, live with Tim Weisberg. I'll come right off the ferry, dude. Chuck something across the street and hit the building.
It should be live. It should be live. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it. It's like almost like nowhere near as cool as like going through like a ring of flames. You know what I mean? It'll be one of those events. Like it'll be like maybe I can get some like B celebrities to be there when I get there. You know what I mean? Like an Alan Thicke. Something like that. Like a B. Like a B celebrity. Like not an A buddy, but like
You say Alan Thicke? Is that who you just said?
Yeah. Like a B. Hey, buddy, really quick. Would you rather hear a joke about let's see, a frog or the clown joke, which I think you want to hear?
I want to hear the clown joke, Mike.
All right, buddy. So while we wait for our guest, I'm going to tell you guys really quickly. So this guy thought he was Dad of the Year. This is the Father's Day joke, so it's kind of fitting. He was Dad of the Year, right? He had a couple little kids, and he was just the man. I mean, he was killing it at work, kills it at home, coach all their kids, his kids' teams, whatever, right? So he takes them to a circus because the circus comes down. He's like, kids, let's go to the circus. Like they're like, yay, Dad. He's Dad of the Year. He's known as Dad of the Year throughout the whole neighborhood, right? Goes to the circus. Mm-hmm. Out come the jugglers. Out come the horses. Out come the clowns, right? And one of the clowns says, can I have somebody from the audience be a volunteer and help me out here? So he's Dad of the Year, right? He goes, I'm doing this. Gets up, he's like, I'll volunteer. Goes down, the clown's like, gets him, and he's got the mic, and the clown says, tell me something. Are you a zebra? And the dad's like, no. The clown's like, are you a horse? The dad's like, no. He's like, are you a llama? And the dad's like, no. And the clown's like, well, you must be a jackass. And the whole town laughs. The place goes wild. He feels like he's had his heart ripped out. He can't believe what's been done to him, right? So he leaves, and you can already tell on the way to the car, his family doesn't respect him as much anymore. They just don't. So he says to himself, I'm going to get that clown. Like, I will get back at that clown. So he goes down and he enrolls in clown school, right? So he does it for about a year, and he's doing really good. So he's like, I'm not stopping here. So he enrolls in like a community college to get his associates in insults, comebacks, and jerkiness. So gets his associates in it, right? He's like, I'm still not ready. I need more. He goes to a regular college to get his bachelor's in insults, comebacks, and jerkiness. Gets his bachelor's, right? So he's like, all right, gets graduated. He's like, I'm not done. I want to learn more on this. Goes and he gets his master's. He gets his master's in insults, comebacks, and jerkiness. So you would think he was done, but when he got out, he was like, no, I need to know more before I confront this clown. He goes and gets his PhD. He's like the only person to ever get his PhD in insults, comebacks, and jerkiness, right? So he gets his doctor in it. He's feeling great about himself. He comes home. He's ready, right? He's ready. Eventually, he sees in the paper the circus is coming to town, right? So he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the circus. I'm going to bring the family. He tells the family, let's go, going to the circus. By now, they're all adults, and they don't want to go to the circus, but, he talks them into it. He wants to make sure they go. They all go with him. They get to the circus, buddy, right? Out come the jugglers. Out come the horses, buddy. Out come the clowns, right? And when the clowns come out, he sees it's the same damn clown. And the clown comes up and he asks for volunteers. And the clown's like, are there any volunteers to help us do a demonstration? And the dad's like, I got this. He's like, me. And they're like, hey, come on down. He comes on down, man. He's so ready for this. He's been going to school. I don't know how many years. I forgot. He's ready, right? Mm-hmm. And the clown says to him, let me ask you something. Are you a zebra? And he's like, nope. And the clown's like, are you a horse? And the guy's like, nope. And the clown's like, well, you must be a jackass. And the whole place laughs at him. But the dad holds his ground. He's waiting. He's waiting for it to die out. He's waiting for it to die out. He's been going to school for this for God knows how long, over for like 7 years. He can't wait for this moment. And the crowd dies down. The dad grabs the mic and he goes, fuck you, clown.
Wow.
That's a lot of schooling. That's a lot of schooling right there.
I'm gonna die over here. Come on, buddy. That's a good joke. That
was good, right? That was good. It took a long way to get there, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Really quick, I'll do the frog one while we wait. Well, what's the status of our guest?
So I emailed him as well as messaged him on Facebook. He has not seen the messages on Facebook.
Oh, geez.
Distinctly told this gentleman 7:05 p.m. Eastern time. Hold on, I just had a message. So let's
all right, let's get back to this. So let me talk about UFOs. Let me tell you what's going on in the world of UFOs that I know about, that I was going to ask questions about, that I'm worried about, that I'm actually concerned about. So let's start off with, by the way, the Mars Express. I like to look at the James Webb, I think, telescope. I'll sometimes post pictures if they post anything new. Like I'm linked to that. Like I want to see what they're seeing outside of our universe. Like that's, to me, is like what I'm hooked on. And the other thing I look on is like the Mars Express has been following this. They call it a reoccurring moon. Reoccurring cloud. It's the Orisa Moors. It's over the Orisa Moors. I don't know if that's a moon of Mars. I don't know. But it's over it might be actually on Mars. It makes sense. It's called the Mars Express. It's the Orisa Moors, I think, volcano. In other words, there's like this cloud that keeps reoccurring over this volcano on Mars. It's made of ice, I guess, and they can track it. There's footage of it on their site right now of them tracking this. Like, it's just weird that there's like a weather type thing that keeps reoccurring and getting bigger as it goes. Every time it reoccurs over a volcano, which, for the record, I didn't know there was volcanoes on Mars. Am I supposed to know that? No, I'm being serious. Was I supposed to know there's volcanoes on Mars? Like, they just slipped that in the whole thing. I was like, oh, really? Volcanoes on Mars. Okay. So we're talking about the ice cloud above the volcano. I'm really thinking that the volcano could do much more damage than the ice cloud. But who am I? So right. That's one of them. Secondly, so I hate calling them this because there already was an RFK, but I'm going to say it because everyone keeps calling him this. So RFK, right, said that if he were to be ever president, he would have every UFO file declassified day one. Now, people have said something like that before, but we all know that he's I'm gonna declassify it as soon as I can. He's the most raspiest Boston guy I've ever met in my life. When I hear him talk, I'm like, should you be president? Because I feel like you should be just having a beer with me, telling me a good story. Like, I almost want to go, should we? Because even like his shirts and ties don't seem to fit, as if like he doesn't wear them. Like he dresses like me most of the time, and every now and then like you got to put it on. He's like, like he's struggling to get wind out all the time. It's just rough. But anyways, he's gonna declassify day one. So now we had the FBI whistleblower. There's 10 different ships 12 different ships that we have recouped. He also said they were different, that we also recouped pilots. He also said that the ships whatever you want to call them, that we recouped were of different species, more than one, which I don't know how you can tell. Like how do you know? Because I was saying that before. Like, how do you know it's not like just dogs? You know, like there's like little dogs and then big gigantic dogs, but they're still dogs. You know what I mean? Like, well, how do you know? Like, what if you get a spacecraft that just works differently? You're gonna immediately maybe because the aliens look different. But then again, are we expecting to go to a planet where every alien looks exactly the same? Is that what the people of the world think? Look, it's not going to be like the Star Wars, like the bar, Tantu, whatever it's called, where there's like every different type of alien in the world in there. Like, you don't think it's going to be like that? You think it's going to be more like where everybody looks exactly the same?
I don't like you. My friend doesn't like you either. That's from
my friend doesn't like you either.
I think honestly, I think there are probably a few species because different eyewitness reports host a different description of the being. Some of them have like really big heads and are our height. Others are really tall and have smaller heads. I think I think it's like you or I think it's maybe cultural or maybe even species, but maybe they're from different planets. I don't know.
You know, by the way, Valiant Thor is dropping some knowledge. Fake ET invasion coming pretty soon, dude. Hey Thor, I said that on the last, I don't know what show I was on, but I was on the news, I think. I was saying that this is the last false flag. Like, there were documents stolen that showed like what I don't want to say who had plans for us in different like events, and what was called the last false flag was creating a common enemy that the whole world had to unite to fight, which would have to be UFO in nature, thus enabling them to make everybody on the same dollar, make everybody on the same thing, make everybody stay at home and have their stuff shipped to them because, you know, the aliens are coming. So, I mean, that would be the ultimate flag. I'm not saying they're going to do that allegedly. This is all alleged. It's alleged. Allegedly. Yeah, you're right. They will be gone. And yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I just let it out of the bag. I shouldn't have said that. That is kind of what's going on. All right, here's my thing. Here's what freaked me out a while ago. You know when someone talks about dinosaurs, first of all, you have to ask somebody, do you believe in dinosaurs? Sin, do you believe in dinosaurs?
I mean, I can't say that I've seen one. No, but
you believe they existed?
History books say they were here. You know, that's all I got.
Buddy, what about you?
There is fossil evidence to suggest that, yes, dinosaurs were in fact real and existed here for not just a few years, but maybe many thousands or millions of years. So, yeah, there's historical evidence to suggest that claim does hold water.
Now, I 100% agree with you, buddy, right? But here's the thing I've always had with museums and shit like that. Those, the bone things, whatever they're called, they're like, what, 87% not real? Like, there's like, what's the percentage of what are really bones? Like, it's like less than 10% or maybe less than 15% on almost everyone you've ever seen. Like, they never had the full body, dude. They always have like a bone or two and they reconstruct. Look it up. Look the percentage up. It's like over 80-something%. Like, that's all. Like, but I get that they found these bones and I get that they can figure this out. But here's what threw me off the most. Did you hear when they said that dinosaurs were descendants? The descendants of dinosaurs weren't lizards; they were reptiles. It was birds. Have you guys ever heard that? Where they say that literally the descendants of dinosaurs are not lizards and snakes, reptiles. They're actually birds. Like, they were more of the bird family dinosaurs.
Really?
Am I the only one that's ever heard this?
I can see pterodactyl. I can see that one.
Well, yeah, they got wings, and that's an easy one. That's a good. Come on. What are you, Captain Obvious tonight?
Yeah. pretty much.
Captain Obvious. So they're birds, apparently, right? More birds than they are reptiles. So then when someone says that, as a little kid, I remember thinking to myself, then what the hell are reptiles?
Right.
Like no, I'm not. I am not joking. As a guy who's owned reptiles, I've had a tegu, which is about this big, and it would. I got to get rid of it because of the way that it would eat. Like, it wouldn't just eat a mouse. It would beat a mouse to death until the mouse was like pink in color, the fur of the mouse. Like, it would just smash it up against the windows. It was like a massacre. I didn't like it. But it was like a dog when it was outside of the tank. You could pet it. It would run around. Then I had large snakes. I actually had one that was like at least 3 feet in length and thick. And I had a couple of them for a long time. And I always knew when they were going to bite me because I handled them wrong or I didn't wait till they ate. Like this thing about like reptiles where you got to be on the right time and playing it smart. And when you hold the snake, you never want the head to be facing you at first. You literally want to hold it away from you for a while till the body gets used to. And the minute it kind of like squeezes and gets used to you, like for ball pythons, it's okay. But it's literally like that. And you don't ever want to tap the head. I mean, I've had it where I had to grab one really quick because I had to get home. And I knew I grabbed it wrong. And it bit me like twice. And I put it in the tank. And then I had like three dots, and nothing. But then all of a sudden, they just bled. Like a horror movie. All 6 holes. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was deep.
Wow.
But so anyways, where did the reptiles come from? Because like, no, and I'm not joking about this because, buddy, from all the stuff we've been doing on this show and these shows, don't tell me reptiles don't always come up as the bottom of the bottom and what might be at the very center of the goddamn earth.
Right, they do. There's a lot of this legend and lore wrapped around serpents and serpentines. Honestly, I think it comes from like places like the Bible. The Bible starts talking about serpents as being something demonic, something evil, and it's just I don't know. I think it's just man just personifying their fears on an actual living being that they can like, hey, this is the devil, but it's actually a snake. Even though the snake was going to try and bite me, and it's probably a douchebag.
You realize so. Here's speaking of the Bible. That's something no one ever says anymore. Usually, when someone says that, people just run. They don't want to even hear what comes next. They don't even know what I'm going to say, but I said that word, and they got to run. Speaking of the Bible, the older I get, the more I realize that it's more of a history book on certain points, and on some points, it had guys take liberties and just kind of go on, when they shouldn't have. Because what they did was they made it so that people could look at it and totally dismiss everything it says, when in fact, some of it is actually history. Like some of it was actually passed down information. Some of it is actually real. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Like no matter how much you believe it, you believe it 100%, you can believe 0%. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Either way, what I'm saying is the more I get older, the more I realize when I read it that a lot of it just matches up with the other history that other people had. And the other people talk about, and maybe they're just not really good at explaining it. Now, which brings me back to day one, when we started to evolve from what we were to what we became. The missing link. No one can tell me that. I don't know how man came about. Like the 1940s, right? When I watched, like, if I ever see my mom and dad, like, in black and white and they're dancing, if I ever have, like, one of those tapes, it seems like forever ago. Like the TV show Happy Days. Seems like it was filmed. I mean, kids don't even understand that time. But like the 50s or now the 40s. Now go back to the 30s. Now go back to 1890. All right, go back to 1810. How are we living as people? Like savages.
Completely different.
Savages, right? When did we go from like apes, which to all of a sudden we could think and use our thumbs and buy stock? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just happened, and then here we are. And then where there's a bunch of different versions of us, like dogs. Like, you can find one you like, big one, small one, dark one, light one, whatever you want, blonde. You like red beards? We got one. My point is, like, so my thing I always worry about is they didn't come back. We didn't get, like, an alien visit. We didn't start to get visitation like we really did until we try to make a bomb, right?
No, it happened years before that, Mike.
No. Wait. Not all of it happened years before.
No, but a lot of it happened.
There were always small sightings or abductions. I'm talking about mass sightings began when we started to mess with bombs. That's a fact. They still hover over nuclear subs, nuclear places with reactors. They shut down a nuclear site once. There's actually reports. You can look it up, dude. The head guy in command said everything went black. All the power was gone from the station when this thing came over. I'm not joking. Look it up. People that are like conspiracy theorists, so they believe in UFOs, know that this was suppressed. It was actually a guy from like whatever it was saying it came over and it shut us completely down. Like we thought it was they first thought it was another country messing with them because it was like a cyber attack. But no, it was just the power shut out.
Now, so let me just throw something out there with you. Everybody's always so upset that the government chose to hide this from the public. I think it's very probable that this actually happened with Roswell and all that stuff. I'm a big supporter of that. Everybody talks about it as being bad. You see it as like, hey, the government coming out, hey, guess what, guys? All this was always real, and we've been lying to you the whole time. Do you think that would cause like some severe mass panic, mass hysteria at this point? There's a lot of people out there who probably don't have a grip on their own realities as far as like right around them. Forget to think about like aliens coming from a different universe and like attacking or abducting us. I mean, do you think that the government's maybe, I don't know, call me a good old boy, trying to support us, trying to help us out, trying to like keep us safe? I don't know.
All right, time out.
The government?
Time out. That last part, you like had me and a lot of people up into that last line. To say the government is just there to help us and support us.
Yeah.
Buddy, are you serious? I've been drinking.
I'm playing the devil's advocate just a little bit here. Why do you think they're keeping it from us? They know that we're going to go out of our fucking minds, and people are
that's enough.
That kind of information.
And right there. But you can end it right there. No.
To protect us.
No. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. They're not protecting us. They're in their own. Everybody's in their own self-interest. That's all that they're worried about, dude. That's all it ever comes down to. Whatever the argument is, think about the person's self-interest in the middle. That's all. That's all you got to worry about. Look, they don't care about you. They're not out to help you, dude. They can give a shit. They just want you to do your thing, pay your taxes, and shut up. Here's what it comes down to. Allegedly, they won't tell us. Probably for good reasons. And I'm not even saying that I want to know or I think we should know. I've yet to say that. This whole time, I've yet to say they should tell the American public everything. I haven't said that. I would never say that because I know how people are. But let me tell you something. What if the implications are that they did have something to do with this? That's like the book that I always wanted to write. It was called The Death of Religion. It was like a day where this person, just named Joe, came and made everybody feel in their body that he was the person that created them, and that's all there was. And then the next day, they had to live with the fact of, I've been like a nun for all these years. Now what do I do? Or I've been a monk in this religion for all these years. Now what do I do? Like, and then how many people go, there's no heaven? And they just start drinking, dropping pills, buddy, allegedly doing like what else? Lines of cocaine, some heroin. What would you do next, buddy? What was that?
Fentanyl, maybe.
Fentanyl, yeah. Mushroom. Allegedly. They make people might go nuts.
Road wild like Jim Morrison in the desert.
Yeah. Look, if people lost their religion, it ain't gonna be easy. Not gonna be, because there's gonna be people that like, won't be good. Like there might be this. Look, there's definitely information that we are not ready for, nor should we probably hear if we want to keep this ball rolling. And I'm being honest. Like, you don't. It's almost like the God's honest truth is you don't need to know everything. But they've been hiding this from us so many years. There's been so many instances. There's so many people have seen UFO aircrafts. And, buddy, I heard somebody else describing their UFO encounter as something that was as big as a football field over their heads. That's exactly what I described. That's exactly what I think I saw. It was something so big that it was like a football field. Like me, I don't want to say his name, could not figure out what the hell are we looking at because it was just so dark, like that it was like encompassing. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so big. You're like, I don't know. And then it moves and you're like, holy Jesus. Like that whole thing.
I'm not doubting that it happened. I believe exploits that you have had. I believe exploits like people like Travis Walton, who come from the same state, I believe, that our tonight's guest that didn't show up, as Arizona, out that way, abducted by aliens, had the whole experience. Now he tours the country and talks about his experiences. I think that's totally legitimate. I just, I don't believe that the government is keeping it from us for like a reason.
I just told you a reason. I gave you a reason. I can give you a couple more, but I'm just being honest.
Maybe there's other reasons, but I mean, I want to say like, hey, they give a shit. Maybe I don't know, because they know we'd lose our shit.
Sin, can you please talk to him about that?
Well, I mean, you know,
it'd be mass hysteria. Think about War of the Worlds when that debuted.
Yeah.
People lost their fucking shit. And
we agree with you. We're agreeing with you, but what we're saying is we stop agreeing with you when you keep saying that they're out to help us.
That's right.
If you just stop saying that, if you stop saying that, we're in 100% agreement because they're not out to help us.
Right.
Maybe they're out. All right. Maybe they're out for crowd control. Maybe they're trying to keep everybody
exactly it.
Yes.
Line, right?
Buddy,
okay. All right.
The goal is
mind control as well.
You don't care if the sheep in your flock die. You just make sure they don't get through the fences and run away.
Right.
That's what you hire dogs to do. The dogs don't run around and tell you if one's feeling sick or not. They just run around and make sure those sons of bitches. I would love to do that whistle, that where the dog runs up really quick and it pushes in the sheep.
Yeah.
I would love to have those dogs with people, man. I'd be blowing the whistle all day long. Like if someone aggravated me, I blow the whistle and the sheepdog would come up and just move the person along. Like just shove them out of my way and I keep walking. I'm gonna do a skit about me and sheepdogs and how I use them when I want to get out of a conversation that I don't want to be in. I'm like, woo! They come up, they move the person away, and I'm like, I will play some music and I just walk. You should do that, buddy. Maybe that's our next 48-hour film festival movie. Dude, I gotta be honest. I was thinking,
I have a question for you.
What balls would it take to enter again?
Oh, Christ. When was it?
No. Don't worry about that. My point is, listen to me. What kind of balls would it take to enter again?
And maybe get some stuff from that Whole Foods Smart, and we can eat it while we call out names and be like, ooh, this like Kraft cheese is absolutely delicious.
So listen, Thor's talking about this. In 1952, the nation's capital was overflown by a series of discs.
Yes.
This event, which led to the involvement of the U.S. to keep the situation under control until they could understand what was happening. Now,
I think they got involved a little bit before that, but okay. Listen, I know exactly what he's talking about.
They have named how many different UFO task, not disc, but task forces have they put together?
Probably hundreds.
Go back and look how it keeps changing. Even what we don't even call them UFOs anymore, guy. We're old calling them UFOs. They're UAPs.
Yes.
Oh, there's such better acronyms now. Acronyms are a hip thing. We're not hip. Not hip. I like UFO. Unidentified flying object. What's better than that word? But you know what? Here's the thing.
Need a flag, like
you got a little max headroom going on there, buddy. I keep Sin, let me ask you this. The whistleblower made a comment about how like that the government has always had a disinformation campaign on the public. But that was like the last thing he said. So if he's whistleblowing about UFO aircrafts and people take him for his word, do they take him for his word on that too?
Some are going to. And you know, the thing is, if he is correct, he's not going to be alive very much longer.
Yeah. No. Listen, so RFK said that he fears being assassinated. And I showed this on the, I did a get the papers on Friday afternoon just to vent out all my aggravations. And I showed that. And then I showed this blonde woman, that's what I will call her, that gave her review on it. I don't know if you guys saw this. And I kept playing it. And it was just, she was so like, didn't know what she was talking about. Like, she was just like laughing. Like, I don't know if they would get to him before or after he was in office. But it's like, I literally was thinking in my head the minute she spoke when I was first watching, I was like, bitch, do you not know what you're talking about? Like, shut up. Like, shut up. You've never even been pushed over. Like, you had a life where no one's even touched you. Like, get out of here. Just even the fact that I can tell she wasn't even from the East Coast, no offense, Sin. But
okay.
the East Coast will toughen you up. The East Coast will no, buddy. You know this. People on the East Coast, our patients are like this.
Right.
Like people everywhere else are like, oh, you
should send to that more northeastern, Mike, because there's some lovely people down south on the East Coast that their tempers are much.
Oh, I no. When all right, I apologize. When I say East Coast, in my head, just like when I say Eastern Standard Time, and Sin gets mad because I won't explain to other people what it is for Mountain or Pacific or Hawaiian or Alaskan, is that buddy, would you like to hear the frog joke soon?
I would love to hear the frog joke, Mike.
Frog goes the good frog. You already heard it. I'm gonna tell it again. All right. Wait. I can tell you one you've never heard. It's just that I only know like a couple more jokes off the top of my head. The one that I always remember is the most filthy joke I've ever heard in my life, and I won't tell that to you because it's really a filthy joke. And then
well, I could tell my Southern Belle joke.
Hey, all right, go ahead.
No, you got to tell a dirty one first.
No, you don't want it. All right. There's actually no swear words at all in this joke.
Well, there's no swear words in mine.
Not one swear word, but it's the filthiest joke I've ever heard. All right, here we go.
All right.
Kid says to his dad, "Dad, what's a vagina look like?" That's the technical term. We're good.
Right.
And the dad says, "Well, son, before sex, it looks like a flower, like a rose with like soft billowing petals. And to be quite honest, son, it smells quite like a rose." And the kid's like, "Oh, that's great, Dad. What's it look like after sex?" And the dad says, "Well, son, have you ever seen a bulldog chewing on mayonnaise?"
Oh God, that's awful.
What did I say before I told it? Did I say it was a good joke? What did I say before I told it?
Wow. That's awful.
That is terrible, Mike.
If I tell you what's coming, then it comes. How are you surprised? What did I say I was going to tell?
A dirty joke.
One of the jokes I know.
Filthy joke, yes.
So where's the UFO guy?
He's not.
He has not responded to my messages
yet. Still,
or my Yahoo mail about, hey, we're live now. Come on. And I don't know if he thought we were at 7:05 Pacific time, but I put Eastern time in the original message. So
you gotta start putting 7:05 EST. You gotta start doing the EST.
Listen, Schrader Hill. I did that in the last message I sent to him on Friday. I put
when you post
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Rhode Island time, and he still didn't seem to understand. And
makes me wonder.
Here he is, not on the show. So.
Makes me wonder if someone got to him, Mike.
Maybe the Men in Black.
No. Why would they get to him before he did this show?
Threw him in the back of a van with no windows, and
they would let him do this show.
You think so?
And then they would go get him. They would never get him before the show. What's this show going to hurt? Like, it's not like he's going to come off as
a bunch of yahoos, right?
A bunch of yahoos.
You're not with me. You're not with me. I'm talking about Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Do you think that a Wednesday night person got to him?
Oh, maybe.
See?
That could be. That actually could be a truth.
Yep.
Oh,
but I don't know. So I don't think deviously.
I don't know.
But no offense. Females are really good at that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that might be sexist, but that might be a sexist comment. You can write that down.
Bitches ain't my opinion, tricks and hoes, one said.
They just seem like they're better at being devious. At least
that can be.
Tricks and hoes, Mike. Tricks and hoes.
We're more blunt. Guys are more stupid. Like guys are really stupid. If you want my honest opinion on men, like, I have a real dislike for men. I don't like them. I think they're dumb. I think they're Cro-Magnish. That's the word I use. Yes, write it down. I'm not a big fan. Never been actually. Why should I? I just don't like them. My favorite Norm Macdonald joke was one of my favorites was he was like, "Man, I was watching some gay porn and I didn't like it." He goes, he's like, they cast all the actors but men.
Oh God!
I guess they couldn't get a girl. Like, they just had all men, and they just did the scenes anyways. He's like, I gotta be honest, I didn't like it. It was such a great deadpan review. Like, what? Of course you didn't like it. What do you mean? Anyways, I don't know how we get on gay porn, but let's navigate back. So listen, still don't know where the reptiles come from. No one's ever told me that. Everyone keeps telling me that we come more from apes, and then they tell me dinosaurs come from birds. So if dinosaurs come from birds and we come from apes, where did all the lizards and snakes come from? I'm being serious. Anybody?
Maybe birds, maybe fish. Mike, nobody here claims to be a biologist
or zoologist. No one here is a licensed zoologist.
Paleontologist, if you will.
You know what?
Nice.
I started playing Scrabble last couple of nights. The wife, she's like, "Oh, let's play Scrabble," and I just, and she's like,
"It's a good game. Make sure,
buddy." I didn't realize how many words I know. Like, I didn't really realize. Oh my God, I know a lot of words. Like, I've been winning on a good clip because I always can come up with a word. It's just like, I don't know. It's like we talk so much that I think I just have heard people say to me so many words that I always go, "Ooh, what's that word? Oh, I remember that one." Sometimes I stop people in their tracks and ask them to repeat it, right? Because I speak for the dumb. And what does the dumb stand for, buddy?
DUMM.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the letters. Let's try. What do the letters stand for? Jesus.
I'm not quite sure, Mike.
Doing, understanding, much more.
Yes.
The dumb. That's what we're out to do, man. We just have to figure things out. I'm basically just saying, can you slow down and explain it to us? Like, and explain to us. Like, because some people come on here, man, and they got words that are like 18 syllables. And you're just like, you could have just said dumb instead of that word. Or you could have said risky instead of the word you just used. I'm always doing like genius to dummy, like translation in my head as people talk. Like, for some reason, that's like my pet peeve. Like, if I hear a word that's like really big that was used
right more than 3 syllables,
just used for more pomp and circumstance as opposed to information. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, instead of like telling me something that I asked, they're telling me something that they want to phrase in a way that makes them sound very intelligent. That's when I get a little angry, and I can tell. Like, you go back and watch all these shows, right? I always get angry when people keep using big words on purpose. And there's certain guests we've had that have used big words on purpose, and sin, it never works out because it's just like you want people to understand you. They tune into a podcast so they can figure out what you're saying. No, that's why I hate movies that when it ends, I get to figure out what the ending is.
Yeah, I can't stand that. I don't like those at all.
I paid money to sit here for 2 hours next to this guy that I don't even know who keeps stealing the arm thing from me, and you're not going to give me an ending?
Yeah. That's when everybody just kind of turns and looks at each other like, the fuck just happened? The fuck just happened?
You know what happens? That's happened to me a couple times, and I don't have the turn and be like, what just happened? I have the, oh, that. Like, I'm just like, oh, that. Because it's just like, another one of those movies, you're going to do that to me. Like, dude, I didn't pay money to come think. Like, if I'm in a movie, I'm not there to think. No big
words. I'm sorry. It said no big words. The lighting is throwing everything off.
Buddy, the fact that you scribbled down on a really, like, line pad with a bad pen, really big words,
I'm going to have
almost ironic.
Make this happen, Mike. Hold on.
Don't you think? A little too ironic, and I really do think. Buddy, kick it. It's like, come on, buddy. It's like, buddy, that's your
rain on your wedding day, Mike. It's like a free ride when you've already paid.
Yep, you go.
It's like the good advice that you just didn't take, and who would have known it figures? Mr. Buddy,
how did I know that was your jam? No big words, scribbled really poorly. Still ironic, a little bit. So, Sin, let me go back to UFOs really quick because that's what we were talking about. So, all right, I referenced earlier that we're trying to like arrest a couple of presidents. You know, we got all this other stuff going on. That's what worries me about all the information UFOs popping and them admitting all this stuff, because I am the ultimate skeptic of the sense of the government. Like, I always feel like the government is that guy that has the 3 shells with the ball, and you walk up and he goes, dude, it's look, guess which one? And the ball's not in any of them.
Never in any of them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how I always feel with them. Like Buddy thinks the guy that they get the shells and they go at the last second, hey, yeah, pick this one because they're trying to help them.
No.
When really they're like looking at you.
They've already pitched it away.
The goal of anybody that's trying to do tricks on you, and I hope Magic Rob, this doesn't ruin anything that he does. It's something that I actually taught in basketball. Here's something I taught in basketball. If you have the ball and you're playing, and the guy's playing defense on you really hard, right, really close, and you want to make one move to get by him, if you do not make eye contact with him until you're ready to do the move, the minute you realize that he sees your eyes, you actually have a split second to go by him because he's stuck in acknowledging the stare. That's a legitimate fact that happens. Like you look at someone, they lock eyes with you, and there's always a split second when boom, go then. That's always what I taught, and that's kind of how it always works. You wait till you get someone's attention, because if you notice, anybody that's in magic, they have to talk. They're talking to you the whole time because it's about, can I get you to look at me for a second? Because that's all I need. If you look at me, my eyes for a second, I know you're not looking anywhere else, right? So I know this sounds like I know how to scam, but I'm just telling you this. I'm Italian. Buddy, drink.
Can I be honorary Italian, please?
You can try. Eat a lot of calzones, ravioli.
I know what that means.
Drink wine. Get a moppin.
Some meatballs.
And just yell really loud at people, even though you don't mean to yell.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
Hey and ho, O, A.
Things like
over here instead of over here.
Yeah.
No, it's to me, it's more like it's how your temper is. I can tell if you're Italian. Like if you tell someone to get off the couch and you don't just say get off the couch, but you're like, get off the couch, get off the couch, and you can't even get it out. That's Italian. Like Italians get red faced, even though they're tan like I am, slightly. I'm not really tan, but I'm in a basement. But Italians are usually tan. Olive skin complexion is what the term is used. We still get red, and it's crazy how Italians just want to react and go do something stupid to take care of the situation. That's literally how an Italian thinks. I'm being honest. Anybody else that's Italian knows exactly what I'm saying. That our first instinct is to just explode emotionally, like just attack. When in fact we should be, that's why the greatest of Italians are the ones that could control themselves and apply it when needed. Like everyone wants to slam Rocky Marciano because he would get killed by these guys that are 6'9" now. He was 185 pounds, yada yada yada. The dude was literally somebody that loved to get hit and hit people. He just wanted to hit you and get hit the whole time. So remember this. There's 3 forms of boxing, because boxing is what they call it's the styles that makes the fights. And what they mean is this. There's the guys that want to punch from outside. There's the guys that throw bombs, and the guys that get inside. Now, the ones that get inside and get in front of you, the worst, the toughest one for to deal with them is the person that likes to throw from outside. You like to throw from the outside, and somebody won't stop staying in your chest, in your face, punching you, even though you're hitting them. Those are the last guys you want to fight. Now, if you throw bombs, you'd love to fight that guy because you're going to knock that guy out. Now, if you throw bombs and you fight the guy from outside, just like Foreman Ali, you're going to get beat because that style does not match your style. You lose that fight. Now, what's the last one we didn't talk about? Would be them from the outside and from the inside and the bombers. No, we talked about that one. So outside loses to inside. Outside beats bombers. Bombers beat inside. You guys got that? Those are your 3 styles. When you're betting fights, ask how the guy fights. If they say one of those 3 things, know that how those match up. Now that has actually proved correct throughout fights and matches. Thank you. That's tattooed on my back, right? You know that, right?
What is?
the Italian stallion horse is on my back.
Nice.
And the flames come out of the nostrils of the horse, and they're actually.
Oh my God! Of course there is. Of course there is.
Did you not know that? I've always had.
I probably knew that, Mike. But
I have the black.
The Italian stallion, of course.
Right there, and then it's got flames.
I used to know a guy in high school. I used to call him the Italian pony. He got him all sorts of upset.
We had a license plate. My brother Ray would hang on the gym at home that said Italian stallion. Oh, Italians love Rocky. Oh, we were in a heyday with Rocky. You understand? I always say this, right? There's two nationalities. There's two. I don't know, you want to call them races? I don't know if that counts. I don't really call them that. I just say nationalities. That's how I sum things up. But there's two that are very similar in everything they do. And there are two that I actually posted recently a whole article about how when the Italians came to America in the 1910s, 1920s, around that time, they weren't considered really white. So they were cast out. And what they did was they would move into neighborhoods like Brooklyn, Queens, all of that place. And it would be African Americans and Italians. They would live together in the same towns or areas for a long time because that's how it was. And when Martin Luther King Jr. had the peace walk, the civil rights movement, the head
Million Man March, if you will.
No, what wasn't that? The Italians were represented and were walking with him. The Italian Americans walked with him because they were closer and knew what it was like to be treated like that for a long time. What the Italians had, though, was the mafia. The mafia was a real problem for them, and it prospered. And it grew to different heights, right? But again, buddy, I know I'm saying this, but it's true. When you think about it, and people are pretending to be another nationality, when someone pretends to be another nationality, African American and Italian are the first two they pick. When you hear somebody pretending to be Irish, as much as
St.
Italian,
Patty's Day, everybody wants to be Irish on St. Patty's Day. Everybody.
So one day out of 365, I'll give you that. I'll agree with you. One day out of 365, they want to be Irish. For 364 days, they pretend to be Italian when they talk to each other.
I'd love to see your statistics, Mike. I'd love to see where you're getting this information from.
The two most impersonated nationalities are those two. As a matter of fact, Eddie Murphy, in his special, talks about how those two are very similar and one of the most impersonated, right?
Eddie.
They both grab their crotch. They both talk like aggressively. There's some similarities there. Just letting you know. That's why it's always been cool. My point is this. I don't know what my point is at this point. I'm going to give you a point. This whole thing about ghosts, I'm with. This whole thing about aliens right now, in UFOs, I'm getting a little bit worried because they're really feeding it to us. And when they really feed us something, man, it has never been good.
Something's over here happening.
It's the shells. It's the goddamn shell game. So I wish we had our guest on, but I'm going to say this.
Too.
I do not know if right now we're going to be getting 100% accurate information. I'm afraid they're going to try to flood the pipelines with garbage to try to get us off the path. That's my biggest fear.
I think you people are nuts, but okay, maybe.
Well, buddy, that's right. We're nuts because the government's here to protect us. Sin, what would you like to say to wrap it up?
Ooh. I have enjoyed this regardless that our guy did not come.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a great conversation with two of my favorite guys.
There you go.
So there you go. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much. Buddy, what would you like to say to wrap it up?
You can join us on, Tuesday we have Into a Legit. There's a Monday show, which
Two shows on Monday.
I don't know the details of the shows on Monday.
Flicks at 8, and then Curiosities of Compass of Curiosities with Russ at 9.
Okay, and I'm sure there'll be great shows because Russ is a great guy, and
I'm on the other one.
Good stuff with horror movies, and Mike's on the other one, of course. Tuesday, walk further into a metaphysical world as welcomes Chris Farley, not the same guy who is dead and who's a fantastic comedian, but he's a metaphysical guy, and I really don't know a thing about him. But join us live on Tuesday at 8:05, and you'll find out more about this Chris Farley, who's not a comedian. Thursday, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's the universal symbol for
Neil Farley. Fuck, totally fucked up. It's Neil Farley.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. You know why? Because if his name was Chris Farley, he'd go by Christopher.
I would do fat kid in a little coat all day long, dude. I would be on the show whipping on every Chris Farley line I knew. Anyway, join us for Neil Farley. He does something metaphysical, and tune in live at Tuesday at 8:05, and you'll find out. Wednesday night is the news.
Guy Neil Farley, though, right?
Neil Farley, like Neil and Bob, but just Neil. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Wednesday night is the news with Michael, Dreamy David Barr, Jet Fuel Gene Broider, who always has something fantastic to say about aliens. And Thursday night, join us for Legit Paranormal Clips as we welcome Ellen McNeil, Jack. Is it Kenner? I keep forgetting Jack's last name. They're both.
Buddy, right now you're just naming famous people, dude. You're like Chris Farley. Jack Hanna, the guy who
Johnny Carson's going to be on Thursday night. Ed McMahon coming back from the dead. Friday is do we have the Bigfoot, and then Saturday we're off, and then next Sunday join us live for a guest that is legit and paranormal at the same time, and put them both together, and you spell legit paranormal. And our guest next Sunday will be holy shit. It's going to be the investigators from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and they'll be joining us talking about the battlefield of Gettysburg, coming up on 160th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, and all the phenomenal paranormal phenomena that happens in and around the battlefield and the town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
Next Sunday at 7:05. Holy shit.
Eastern Standard Time.
Holy shit, where's the Tylenol?
Sin, what do you have to say to wrap it up?
Me?
Yes.
I thought I already did.
I thought we just did that, Mike.
I thought I did.
You have
okay, look, I've got 4 books. I've got 4 books on Amazon. Please go buy them. Sin Schrader Hill, author. Amazon. Sin Schrader Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it was the end of the show on June 18th, 2023 at around 8:08, 8:09 my time. So for Sin Trader Hill, for Buddy, Money, there it is me, Michael Every King, Mike Ellis was legit. Paranormal brought to you by Legit. Podcast.com. We will see you tomorrow night for Legit Fear Flicks, a review of horror movies at 8:05, followed by Compass of Curiosity. God only knows what will be on that show with Russ Stiver, but it will be good. That's